Hello everyone, and welcome to the Becker CPA Review course. My name is Tim Garrity, and I'm one of the national instructors for the program, as well as its national editor-in-chief. And I'm here with my partner in crime, the other national lead instructor, Peter Olinto. Our purpose in sharing this time with you today is to go over some of the fundamentals of how to use our program, to get to know Pete and I, since we're going to be your teammates over the next couple of months as you prepare to successfully pass the CPA exam. What we'd like to do at first is introduce you to ourselves so that you have an idea a little bit about us. So let me turn it over to my partner in crime, Mr. Peter Olinto.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Again, my name is Peter Olinto. I am one of the national lead instructors for the Becker Review for the CPA. I just want to let you know that first and foremost, this is my chosen profession. I'm pretty passionate about this. I'm honored that you've entrusted in us this opportunity to get you through the exam. We've both obviously been through that process, so along the way we'll share some of our stories. But I do have a bachelor's degree in public accounting. Passed the exam. I was fortunate enough. I studied very hard, passed each part on the first attempt, and I went to work as an auditor for Deloitte back in the day when they originally merged. Deloitte Haskins and Sells merged with Touche Ross. I was part of the inaugural class of Deloitte and Touche. So that's where I started my career. After getting my audit time in, I decided to pursue a law degree. I got a law degree from Fordham Law in New York City. And after I became a lawyer, I decided to work for Ernst & Young. I was a tax attorney for a while. And then I had my own law practice. And my first opportunity really to teach was during law school. I was fortunate enough to teach the SAT, the LSAT, the GMATs, and I really enjoyed teaching. And then eventually I got the opportunity with Becker to teach CPA Review. And while I was building my law practice, I taught for about 10 years at the Fordham University Graduate School of Business as well as undergraduate. Taught everything from accounting, tax, financial statement analysis. After I got into teaching and I really had an opportunity to learn about another credential called the Chartered Financial Analyst, I decided to pursue the CFA designation, and I took the sister course for Becker. It's something called the Stoller Review for the CFA, and graduate of that program as well, and one of the national lead instructors for Stoller. So obviously I really enjoy teaching, but let me give Mike back over to Tim and just let him tell you a little bit about his background. If you thought that was impressive, sit back. Listen to this.
Well, I think you're being modest there, Pete, but thank you so much. Again, a little bit about my background. I majored in accounting undergraduate. I was fortunate enough to pass the CPA exam the first sitting coming out of college, and I started working with a firm known as Peat, Marwick and Mitchell, currently known as KPMG, one of the original Big 8 accounting firms. I worked in both the audit and the tax department while I went on for my master's degree at Seton Hall University. I combined that with their law school program to get my JD and pass the bar exam while I was there. Inevitably, I left and ultimately went on to start my own practice, during which time I supplemented it by becoming a professor over at Fairleigh Dickinson University. At that school, I taught both undergraduate accounting and tax, as well as graduate level accounting. I did that during the decade of the 80s, during which time I also was getting involved in CPA Review. I started teaching CPA Review way back in 1980. That's right, that's when I started teaching it, way back then. And I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been involved in teaching CPA Review and helping candidates over the 30 years, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It is my principal occupation. It is the thing that I enjoy the most. Just like Pete said, both of us have an incredible passion for this particular product. We believe in it. We strongly want to help people pass. We love doing this for people. Again, I also have a CPA practice where I'm the managing partner at this point, and one of the advantages of that is I can bring real-world examples into the program to help you understand exactly what the rules and regulations are. Those are the fundamentals of my background. Now, one of the things that I know many of you are interested in asking is Becker has been very successful. You always hear about it whenever you're at school or look on the web. Obviously, our success speaks for itself. We've obviously helped lots of people getting through the exam. And I'm sure you're wondering, how do we do it? What's our, quote, secret formula? Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm going to ask my friend Peter to tell you about that, but he's too modest to, again, go into the realities of it. This man right here is one of the greatest CPA Review instructors you're ever going to have. In fact, take away the word CPA Review. He is one of the greatest instructors you're ever going to have. Don't believe me. Go onto the web, go to Facebook, go to Twitter, and find out about all the people who've written about this man and told you how great he is. His passion, his humor, his knowledge, his insights have literally helped people over the last couple of 20 years pass the CPA exam and actually enjoy the program. So I'm going to turn it over to Pete now that I've told you a little bit about what's the truth behind our success, and let Pete explain why we are so successful.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I just didn't know he was talking about me that whole time, but I feel like, Tim, I owe you something for saying all those kind things about me, so a little something for you.
Only a 5?
Don't spend it all in one place, all right?
Okay.
Tim, really, no, seriously, I appreciate all the kind words, and calling me the best and sitting next to truly the man who is the best in CPA review. I appreciate all those kind words, but as Tim mentioned, his experience, and truth be told, way back when I started in CPA review, when I got the opportunity to, meet lots of different instructors, and the one name that we heard over and over again, and the guy you got to go see teach, and he's the best in the business, and over again, it was Tim Garrity. And really, not only does he have personally his own experience, but the team that he's assembled, the local instructors that he worked with, the editors that he works with, and a lot of those guys he still works with today in helping to write the materials. And really, it's a team effort. And the team that Tim's been able to assemble over the past 20, 30 years, as he mentioned, and just by the way, in 1980, I wasn't even in high school yet. But nonetheless, this man was already creating his legend and assembling that team, and that team extends to the tech support guys. We've got all the people who put together all the fantastic software, the outstanding writers and editors, and all the people who do the research. And while Tim and I obviously are going to be the lead and seeing you most often, we are supported by that group. But I do have to tell you, you're going to be in good hands with Tim. And while this is a hard process, and I know you hear the stories about getting through the exam, one of the things that makes Tim so unique in this profession is that, honestly, he's really going to be able to make this enjoyable. He's probably one of the funniest accountants you will ever meet. And I know you're thinking funny and accountant don't belong in the same sentence, but when you watch his lectures, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So I think you're in good hands.
Now what we'd like to do is we'd like to discuss with you some of the purpose and methodology of our course. We call it the Becker approach. And Pete, why don't you share with us, again, how we've developed this Becker approach to help people pass the CPA exam?
Sure do. Well, I think one of the things that I want to stress right up front is that every candidate is an individual. Some of you might be out of school 6 months. Some of you may be out of school for 15, 20 years. Some of you may have experience in tax. Some of you may have experience in audit. So we fully understand that a lot of these topics are going to be initially imposing because of that lack of familiarity.